Yo, welcome back, guys. I'm Prop Geek Zeke. Above me is Jet. If you don't know who we are, I started a Twitter page over 3 years ago talking about sports betting, fantasy football content, all of it together. Grown the page to 100,000 followers by giving out good advice, profitable betting advice, and good fantasy advice. Jet above me is someone that I've been working with for probably about the whole 3 years now at this point. I'll let Jet introduce himself.
Yeah, I would say for the most part that's an accurate reflection. But yeah, some of you may know me. I'm Jet from the Discord. I post mostly MLB book bets. But excited to get some fantasy football content for you guys. Best time of the year.
Yeah, this is our first fantasy football video. If you guys want all our rankings, we'll go through them as we're drafting, but we update these daily. There's going to be a link below where you can get all our access for information for the whole year. The plan of this video is we're going to be breaking down what me and Jet think is the best draft strategy if you're drafting at the top of the draft. So this is picks 1, 2, 3, 4. I gave ourselves pick number 3 here in this sleeper draft. We're just going to go ahead and jump right into it, and you guys can get the vibe, okay? This is PPR. We're going to do... Okay, we have kicker and defense. I'm going to reset this. We're going to have no kicker, no defense. We're going to do one quarterback, two wide receiver, two running back, and two flexes, okay? So if you're in a league where it's three wide receivers, one flex, it's kind of the same thing. If you only have one flex, it's a little different. But the start of the draft, they went Chase and Jefferson. We're fine with that. Now we're in a weird scenario. I would say that most common top of the draft is going to be a Jamar Chase and Bijan start. And you're going to be in this weird scenario where you have Jefferson and Chase, or Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. If you're in a spot where you can take Bijan at the third pick, I'm fine with that. Jet's fine with that. We're not drafting Saquon in the top 4. Jalen Hurts vultures way too many of his touchdowns. The only players I'm thinking about in the top 4 is Jamar Chase, Bijan, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson. So here, it's between CeeDee and Justin Jefferson. Out of this current moment, Justin Jefferson has a hamstring injury. Not 100% sure when he's going to be back, how much time he's going to miss. And CeeDee Lamb we have ranked at the exact same, basically. So with this injury, we're going to go CeeDee Lamb here. I'll let this finish the turn, and we'll see who's available. We've already talked through a little bit of a draft strategy, but when you go into a draft, you don't want to have like I'm going 0 RB. I'm going hero wide receiver. You need to let the draft and the start of the first couple rounds come to you, and that's when you have your strategy set. So right now, no running back is on the board that we like. The only running back I'd be comfortable taking at this turn through here, especially at 210, is like a Devon A-Chain. Assuming McCaffrey's gone, Henry's gone, GT's gone. Jacobs, maybe. Bucky Irving, new offensive coordinator, I'm kind of worried about. Jonathan Taylor's bad offense. Kyron Williams, I don't really know if he's even that good. And then Chase Brown, workload issues, right? Like he's young.
Right.
And
yeah,
I'm just worried about
Jacobs is somebody that's like stable enough for this range if you're going to go to the running back position. But I think this draft has fallen in a perfect way where we might want to go wide receiver here.
Yeah, so I can already see who I think is going to be great. Yeah, so Ladd and McConkey, which I would agree with. If you can start your draft with CeeDee and Ladd, CeeDee and A.J. Brown, CeeDee and Tyreek, I really like that start. There's a ton of wide receivers here that I know we're going to get back on the turn. I'm going to draft Ladd. That's who we have the highest as of right now. Things can change. Ladd gets injured and camp or A.J. Brown does stuff like that. So they went Tyreek, A.J., Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor. Coming back around, I think we both know who we're liking here. And that's going to be JSN. Let me pull these up again. JSN, we have G-Dub above him. T. Higgins. So T. Higgins is there. Garrett Wilson is there. Jack Smith and Jacobs there.
But I would call that a bit of a tier there. That's why I'm really happy that we were able to get Ladd McConkey, because I think Ladd McConkey is a solid tier above these guys. But with that said, I mean, I feel like you can't go wrong there. But JSN, definitely somebody with a stable floor. That's probably a good idea if we're going third wide receiver here.
Yeah, I would agree. So third wide receiver, I'm fine taking someone. You know, we kind of have 2 elite wide receivers. We're looking at a flex position. And these 3, like Jet's saying, they're so close. It's really just who do you prefer? Do you like T. Higgins? I think T. Higgins has the most upside of the 3. Maybe that's not even true. I think JSN has the safest floor, so I'm going to draft JSN here because he is our third wide receiver. And
like easily the safest floor there.
Yeah,
I think
it always changes. Like Wilson has a very high upside. but a very low floor with Fields as quarterback. So coming back around, we have 3 wide receivers. Again, if you're in a league where you only have 1 flex, you're done drafting wide receivers for the whole draft. And that might lean you to reach a little bit on a running back like Taylor instead of Ladd. But most leagues now are full PPR, have 4 wide receivers startable. So that's where you can go 3 wide receivers at the start and just bang out some, you automatically have the best wide receiver room in the league. And if we're taking another wide receiver here, which I don't know if we are yet, you're going to have the best flex in the league, having 2 top 15 wide receivers or so at your flex. So here there's Omarion Hampton. Me and Jet both love him. I know that. We have him ranked as RB 15. So right behind Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker just went. Oh, yeah. So Kenneth Walker just went before. We would have loved Kenneth Walker here. We do have JSN though, so we probably would have still taken Hampton. This is, for us, I think, Jet, between... so there's Devontae, DJ Moore, and Omarion Hampton. We have DJ Moore. We have Devontae.
Devontae feels like he was a pretty big faller there. So as far as wide receivers go, I definitely don't hate that. But Hampton's an interesting one too, though, because I do feel like if you're running the strategy where you're stacking up on receivers in the first 3 rounds, I think going for a running back with the level of upside of Hampton is a fun way to go to increase the ceiling massively. So I think we can go either way. Maybe we hope that Hampton doesn't go with the turn, but I feel like he's going to go with the turn.
Yeah, I would say we're pretty close
again,
between.
We do have Ladd McConkey, so I think that's going to break the tie.
Oh, yeah. Okay. If we didn't have Ladd McConkey, I would draft Hampton here for sure.
Big upside running back. Yeah, I agree.
So like Ladd most likely.
We did Ladd.
Yeah, Ladd most likely wouldn't fall to 210 in your average draft. You would expect like a Trey McBride. I mean. You probably not expect Lamar to go that early. And everyone just slide down one. So in this draft, we'd have a Charger. We're not drafting 2 players from the same offense. We're going to go receiver. But I would have really liked to go in Hampton here because there's so many other wide receiver options we're comfortable with. There's no tight ends we're comfortable with and no QBs. The only quarterback I'd be okay drafting at 410 is like Jaden Daniels. I wouldn't draft Hurts this high. And Jaden Daniels obviously went way before. So... And then, of course, Allen Lamar. So it's looking like wide receiver. We're going to go Devontae and see who's available at the turn. Mixon's gone, which would likely be Hampton because Mixon's got that weird injury and they're using old ADPs. Yeah. So Hawkinson here, it's kind of early. We're talking about pick 51. We could go. Yeah, there's no good quarterbacks. Like an early one.
I don't know if I want to follow up a Laporta pick with a different tight end. Honestly, I think Laporta was probably a good get by that second team there.
I think we're definitely need to go. There's no good quarterbacks or wide receivers I'm willing to draft at this point. So let's go to the running backs. Yeah, we're looking at like a James Conner, RJ Harvey. I know we like Travion. I know we like. I see RJ Harvey and Travion here. We have Travion ranked higher. I'm fine drafting Travion here. And hoping RJ Harvey's available here. Travion's very high upside running back, and I definitely like him more than RJ Harvey as the rankings show, just because I think there's less competition in New England. I think Ramondre sucks. Fumble issues, coaches don't trust him, so we're going to go Travion.
It could be a big boomer if things break right for him.
Absolutely. So in these first 5, it's more like you're almost always going to have 4 wide receivers and a running back, unless there's a massive fall. So we were saying you could draft Omarion Hampton at 410 if you don't get Ladd, just to walk you through a couple different strategies here. But you're almost always going to have 4 wide receivers in this type of build at the 1-3 area. So coming back around, Aaron Jones went, Pacheco went. We can look at tight ends here. Still, I'd say a little high. Quarterback still a little high, so we're looking at another running back more than likely. I see Swift. Judkins I know we're very low on with the criminal issues. Who else was there?
We recently dipped him very far in our rankings for good reason. He is the only unsigned rookie from the draft class, unfortunately.
So I see Swift. We have Swift as RB22. We don't have any other Bears. Caleb Johnson, we have slightly below him. What do you
Swift's
think?
interesting. I know we don't want to get caught up on individual players as much, but I think Swift just became a little bit more interesting because I think people have observed over the past couple of weeks that Roshan Johnson has like not been spoken about by any member of the coaching staff like at all. So it
Okay.
seems like Swift is fairly established at this point.
Yeah.
And I mean, from a talent perspective, we know he's got the past history with Ben Johnson. So I feel like he's a
Yeah.
pretty good bet as a stable 0 RB look here.
Yeah. I
Like
love
this works
drafting
out really well.
DeAndre Swift with Ben Johnson, like we were talking about. So now we're at 7-3. We're through looking at like pick 75. There's still some tight ends. You can go Andrews, Ingram. This might be where I look to take a tight end because there's so many quarterbacks here. I'm fine taking Fields.
What is our difference? What is our gap
8-10.
between Mark Andrews and Tyler Warren? I'm just curious.
I think we have Mark Andrews relatively lower than
Sure
I know
high.
we have. Yeah, so we have Ingram, Mark Andrews, and Tyler Warren. We have on top of each
That's
other.
what I thought.
Ingram, we have tight end 7. I really like drafting Evan Ingram. Jonnu Smith, we have.
That's true.
At. I don't even see Jonnu Smith. Oh, down here at tight end 20. So.
Yeah,
here,
I like Evan Ingram value a lot.
I love Evan Ingram value. Some people might say if you really love a wide receiver in this range, that like someone really failed, you could draft and try to trade them. But we're gonna go Evan Ingram here again. The quarterbacks are just going nowhere where I'm comfortable taking them. When I love a Kyler Murray in late 8th, I love Justin Fields in the 9th or 10th round. So I'm fine waiting on quarterback. There goes Goff. Goff that high is crazy. This is probably gonna be where we take.
So far, though. This is a fantastic
I'm loving
team,
this.
If you ask me.
So it's looking like Kyler.
Ooh, Kyler.
Yeah,
huh?
I love Kyler here. We're both relatively high on Kyler
like
compared to the average.
Yeah.
And we're back around at the turn. So now we're drafting high upside, starting to fill out your bench. We do have 4 wide receivers, so that's something to think about.
Yep.
You don't need to go draft 3, which maybe we do. You don't need to go draft 3 bench wide receivers when you have 4 starters. You're more looking for some high upside. Hey, if Roshan Johnson does break out, we have another high upside running back that could break out because Swift is shit now. So there's Scatabo. I know we like.
The ideal is that we go running back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Scatabo. I know we're decent on RB31. Najee, Javante, we don't like. Mason, I think we're. Yeah, it's looking like Scat for sure. Okay, I'm fine with Scat.
And I like Jordan Mason for what he is, but Scatabo's a significant tier above.
Yeah, like there's a lot of upside there. There's no good wide receivers that I'm looking to take either. I think it's easily Scat here. Drafting a running back. If like let's say Scatabo went here, we like ETN there as well. I think we have ETN higher than Scat, unless I'm okay. We have ETN and Scat very close to each other, so you could go Jordan Mason. Mm-hmm. None of these wide receivers we're looking at, especially with 4 potential wide receiver ones. We're really looking for a running back here.
Can you? No, never mind. You're good. I know Scatabo had like a mini little tweak.
Oh,
I think he's fine though, but
yeah. So there goes Javante Mason.
What kind of injury it was, but he should be fine.
Najee, Higgins, or someone I really like.
I do really like Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason's a solid option.
He's interesting for sure. So coming back, there is Spears available. Dobbins, Blue is someone that a lot of people are liking for high upside.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman. I mean, I like Trey Harris when I'm looking here. I know we have Trey Harris pretty high.
Mm-hmm. With Ladd though, maybe we would.
Yeah, I forgot about.
Just because I would prefer to take the stab on Trey Harris if I don't have anything in that offense. But.
Exactly. It's looking like I mean, there's Luther Burden, which we do have Swift. Which I'm fine having a wide receiver and a running back this late, like a difference. If it's
and I think that's especially the case with us having CeeDee Lamb, but not being afraid to go Jaden Blue if we wanted to go in that direction, and that would kind of continue the trend of us looking for upside at the running back position. I think that's an interesting look, especially with some of the recent news. I know we just moved him up a good bit in our rankings as well.
Mm-hmm. It's between Blue. I mean, Dobbins. Where do we have? I didn't see Dobbins.
Yeah,
we have Dobbins below.
I think it would just aim towards the build. No, like, he's up there. Like Dobbins is pretty
right
safe. But I don't think in our particular strategy, we're not necessarily looking for a safe option. We're just looking to throw darts at all of the high upside options. We have that with Henderson. We have that with Swift. We have that with Scat. Could continue that with Jaden Blue. I think would be pretty fun here.
I like that. Going Jaden Blue here, high upside. Tight ends are ripping at the turn. One thing me and Jed are both pretty adamant on is if you get a quarterback that you're confident in, like Kyler Murray, he's not going to be benched halfway through the year. Yes, he can get injured, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about someone that either could significantly underperform ADP like Jared Goff, in my opinion, like low running quarterbacks, or a tight end that is significantly, Colston Loveland is someone that I think could be risky. John D. Smith thinks someone could be risky with an Arthur Smith offense. We're not drafting 2 quarterbacks and 2 wide receivers. We're drafting we're not drafting 2 quarterbacks or 2 tight ends. We're drafting our starter and we're moving on. Especially if you get someone like Josh Allen. So we're done looking at those. We are looking for high upside flex players, as in wide receivers, running backs. Wide receivers always perform better in full PPR. Dobbins is still here. Trey Harris is still here. Mims and Burden and Kyle Williams.
Interesting.
Kyle, which we did draft Travion, correct?
Yep.
So Kyle Williams is there. Mims we could draft. We don't have any Broncos. And then Trey Harris and Luther Burden, we have Evan a much Ingram, higher. Oh, we do have Evan Ingram. So in this, I think in this scenario, you're not more so worried about, do I want to have 2 players on the same offense? Because we've seen plenty of fantasy teams, especially a Ben Johnson team, support Amon-Ra St. Brown as a top 12 wide receiver, 2 top 12 running backs in Gibbs and Monty. I love Luther Burden, and that's why I have a running back and wide receiver than 2 wide receivers. So that's the difference between Trey Harris and Luther Burden for me.
Yeah, I say go for it. Let's do it.
There goes Trey Harris. Here's the strength of this team. When you're going into the season, you have 4 wide receivers that are legitimate wide receiver 1 upside. And then you also have a Travion Henderson who could break out and be a top 12 running back pretty easily. He's a great pass catcher. Drake May offense could be very talented. And it's just something where if that is you're not relying on Travion Henderson to be an RB1. You basically have an RB1 in Jackson Smith and Jigba at your flex. You have an RB2 as Devontae Adams in your flex. You're looking at Travion and Henderson as Swift as like, can they be my 5th and 6th best fantasy scoring option on my team? I know it's scary having your RB1 be someone from the 5th and 6th round, but that's just something that a lot of casuals think, and you can take advantage of in your home drafts and stuff.
I think so. And I think if you look at our roster and you are concerned about the running back position and it being thin or whatever, I think, obviously we aim this towards drafting guys with upside, so that's without a doubt the case. But it also just centers your focus as a manager. Now I'm looking with my fab bids that I'm making week to week. I'm focusing my energy on making sure I hit on those running backs. And it's a good thing that I know that my wide receivers are stable so that I can just hammer that bid on the next breakout running back that becomes an RB1 out of nowhere, which we know happens at least a handful of times every single fantasy season as well.
Yeah. I was just about to go say, if Bijan Robinson gets injured and the guy that drafts Tyler Algier drops him or he just doesn't get drafted, you could go drop $100 fab on Tyler Algier, which I'm not saying that's recommended. I'm just saying you could. And there's your RB1 for the year. We saw it in Jacksonville with, I can't even remember the dude's name because he fell off the face of the earth like 3 years ago.
Jacksonville.
3 years ago, some random rookie. I can't even think of his name, bro. He's like RB8 on the year. I can't remember. It's the year before ETN. And then last year, Elijah Mitchell with McCaffrey's injury or whoever it was. Jordan Mason, right? There's so many options where CeeDee Lamb is way less likely to get hurt than Saquon or Bijan Robinson. So your draft, you have such a nice floor, and they score more on average. Looking here, I see who I think is the best pick, Jet, and I think that's Ray Davis out of Buffalo.
Sure.
Benson, we were just talking about before we got on here, not really interesting with the offensive coordinator's comments. Eckler's old, and of the other running back, not Brian Robinson, but the other guy they drafted is getting a lot of talk. Tank is
Rodriguez. Yeah,
Tank is maybe interesting. Let's see where we have Tank.
Yeah, Tank's pretty high up there, 37.
So Tank we have 37. Let's definitely go to Tank then. I know he was taking RB1 reps.
We're in the area where we're looking for the best of the handcuffs, and with Tank Bigsby already getting a ton of hype and getting those first team reps, it's probably a good way to go.
Yeah, last pick of the draft. Again, we're not drafting quarterback. We're not drafting tight end. We're looking for some high upside play. Bateman, I don't think is high upside. Thielen, I don't think is high upside. Hollywood Brown, I don't think. I mean, it's kind of hard to say that in a Chiefs offense, but let's see. So we have Brown as wide receiver 56, Bateman 59, Thielen 61. So if we're wanting to go another wide receiver, we can go Brown, but we already have 5, and they're much stronger as an overall position. I'm liking Ray Davis here as my late round stab. You can also look at Dylan Sampson if Quinshon does miss time, or they just cut him, or he doesn't get signed for whatever reason.
Right.
Tyler Algier, you could have that Bijan handcuff. Where are you looking at, Jet?
I definitely think that the Ray Davis is an option. Because like you said, there's not exactly any pressure to go for the wide receiver position, knowing that we have the 4 stable ones. And even if a guy were to get injured, I feel like we did well enough at the running back position where we're going to have flex options all over the place, at least early on. So I think you can go either way, but this is definitely the tier of running back where you're looking for the high upside sort of handcuff guys, and I think Ray Davis is probably the best amongst those right now.
Yeah. So draft's over. Let me close this. Again, when you're going into these drafts, pick 1 through 4. You don't need to have a absolute strategy. I mean, if you have pick 1-1, you can say I'm going chase and building something off that, right? But we're talking about. Me and Jet walked in. We didn't say we're going 0 RB for sure. Hey, if Devon A-Chain falls to 210, he's 100% on the team. I don't care about no 0 RB. If Josh Jacobs falls, you could like him if you don't like Ladd for whatever reason, or Ladd gets drafted and it's between Hill. You're drafting best player available for your first couple slots and then building it, right? So once we went CD, Ladd, JSM, like, okay, we're going with a 0 RB build. Let's go ahead and get a 4th strong wide receiver, Devontae Adams. Start taking these high upside picks where everyone else is having to draft receiver and tight end. We're getting Travion Henderson, Marion Hampton, DeAndre Swift. Builds guys like that, right? And just building out an absolute killer team. The best 4 wide receivers in the league, 2 high upside running backs, tight end, quarterback. Amazing team. This is exactly how I draft, and I spend over $5,000 in fantasy league buy-ins every single year. I know Jet has been in a league for like 10 years where they draft in person, and apparently he's won like 8 times because Jet's a sweat, and that's why he's here on the video. He's a sweat. I'm a sweat. We take this seriously. This is what we're liking for picks 1 through 4. Jet, do you want to add anything for how you feel about this team?
Just a small thing. I would reemphasize that when it comes to your drafts, obviously, like Zeke was touching on, not sticking to a particular strategy religiously, right? And I think I would add to that, not just staring at your rankings and taking who's at the top. I think we sort of showed that off a little bit with the Jaden Blue pick in particular. If your build is heading in a certain direction where it's like, okay, I know I have stability at the wide receiver position, I have a couple of great options at running back, I want to throw darts at the fun high upside guys, even if a guy like J.K. Dobbins is sitting there. So just having a good feel for your own team build. And I think that's another reason why our rankings and the way we construct it is more towards just quarterback. It's by position: quarterback, running back, receiver. Because if we did like a whole big board thing, I don't want you to stare at it and be like, okay, shoot, Zeke's favorite player right now is obviously a wide receiver. I already have 5, but I'm going to take another one. You have to be able to have a feel for how to use your fantasy rankings. So I think that's just another thing to keep in mind. So it's all situational. Make sure you do plenty of these mock drafts like this. They're a very useful tool to get a feel for how to use your ranking properly.
Absolutely. If you guys are interested in more video content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be breaking down top of the draft, middle of the draft, back of the draft, favorite sleepers, big bust candidates, everything you want. If you have a certain video idea you want, let us know below, but we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.